KDB. KDB. chill, chill. Go, 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 Voch. It's your birthday. We gon' party like it's your birthday. Chill, 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 chill. Watch it, chill, 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 pow, chill, chill.
Beats Planet.
Yo, Voch better not be upside down, right? I better not. Let me just put a little bit on that. There we go. There we go. What up, y'all? Shouts out to the Blue Flame and everybody that worked there. All the essential workers and all that good stuff. What's good, y'all? It's been a while since I've been live. Been a while. I've been neglecting the hell out of yous. Sorry. I've been sick, but we good to go now. So we back at it. Appreciate y'all for coming through, man. This is Lombardi's Draft Talk. Of course, I probably should have named it that. I probably should have named it Lombardi's Draft Talk. Let me go work on that. Give me a second. Cause that's what this is, and I need my audience to know the difference between what we watching. Lombardi's Draft Talk space. Lombardi's Draft Talk. Kayvon Thibidoux dropped in my rankings after watching blah 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 blah. Phone's lit. All right. There we go. So just kind of catching people up on, my draft findings or whatever. We'll watch a large pack of, draft guys every couple days over on the patreon.com/vochlombardi. Normally, like when we're, breaking down mocks or something like that, or we just got general thoughts, I wouldn't have the phones open. This is a phone open day for you. So if you want to tap into the show, the number is there. All right, and when we get into the phone situation, we're definitely going to tap in with it. Plus, y'all look me in the eye. Y'all look me. What am I? Hold on. I gotta have glasses on. I got to put my glasses on so I can aggressively and tell y'all to look me in my eye and say, hey, man, we got film after this, so don't go nowhere. Like, stay tuned. I know it's Valentine's Day, and a lot of y'all got things to do. Some of y'all ain't got shit to do. Some of y'all have Valentine's early. Some of y'all going to have Valentine's later. But I appreciate y'all for tuning in. Regardless, whether you got to get to this live stream later or the film later, I appreciate you for getting to it at some point. You understand? So there will be film. Stay tuned. But, so listen, patreon.com/vochlombardi, like I was saying, that's when we're gonna break down these packs of film or whatever. So we're gonna be going live on Patreon tomorrow and probably the day after that. tomorrow and probably the day after that. We're gonna get 2 of those in a row. Then I'll drop another film on the YouTube later on this week. So I know it's a good number of y'all that wasn't in the Patreon last week when we broke this down and talked about it. Yes, I said last week because we typically do things a little earlier over there than we do over here. I don't know if a lot of y'all was here last week when we was doing Patreon things, but you know how when you just watch guys in passing or whatever, you know what I mean? It may just be one thing. And we're like, I think I might like that dude a little better than that draft prospect, right? And then you really hunker down and you watch a little close and you go, boy, I definitely like that dude more than I like that guy. And that's been cemented for me. So what's interesting, what's going on today, what I really want, every now and then I'll just hop on the stream just to get people's temperature, you know what I mean? Just to get a feel for the vibe, so to speak. Pardon me wiggling my hands. I've been doing a lot of that, the last couple months or whatever. Just bear with me. But, so we watched a bunch of Kayvon Thibidoux over on the channel or whatever, over on the Patreon. That's cool. We watched it a bunch as a family. And then we went to go watch Aiden Hutchinson together as a collective and as a group. And Aiden was cool. Now, I feel like when you go on the internets, when you go on, the social medias and things like that, if you have a comment that's relatively within common thought, people not really going to fight you about that. You know what I mean? So when I was just kind of watching film, just minding my business, I was like, oh, all right, Kayvon Thibidoux ain't as good as Aiden Hutchinson in my mind, right? Because I kind of go into things, listening to what the outside say. I shouldn't be that way. But I was like, okay, if y'all think Kayvon's, number 1 overall pick, fine. And Aiden Hutchinson was better. But there was some people that were saying Aiden Hutchinson was better. So I just keep watching film. And then Jermaine Johnson became the next big thing. And I don't think that, and y'all know how I feel about Jermaine Johnson. And Jermaine Johnson and Kayvon Thibidoux are going to be 2 dudes. I'm just going to be fighting their fans all draft process, but whatever. I do like Thibidoux more than Jermaine. So let's just get that clear. And none of this is official until my rankings drop, right? But I'm just watching film. We look at David Ajabo and all of his production and shit, and I go, I think I might like both Michigan kids better than Kayvon Thibidoux. But you know what? There's even a cross section of draft world that'll let that slide. Like a lot of people think that's nonsense. Voch, there's no way, hurrah. There's no way that David Ajabo is better than Kayvon. Of course, there's people that think that, but there's a cross section of draft world that'll be like, "Aye, Voch, we'll let you slide. When I'm talking about Kayvon versus Aiden or Kayvon versus David Ajabo, I mean, those tweets, they get up in the hundreds in likes, the hundreds and retweets and comments. I can tell by how the vibe of the people are, so I can tell what the vibe is by how the tweet goes or whatever, you know what I'm saying? So I was like, all right, cool. I guess there are some people that don't mind me saying that Hutchinson and Ajabo is better than Thibidoux. Then I watched George Karlaftis. We'll just cut this shit up a little bit. Hold on. Y'all just give me 2 seconds. Just give me 2 seconds. I watched George Karlaftis and he was better than everybody. All of them. Why are we not talking about the kid from Purdue? He's better than all of them. Except Aiden Hutchinson, but it'll just be more explosive if I said everybody. Like it'll slow. like, why the hell we not talking about the dude from Purdue, man? And pardon my racism, but I was like, oh, we got 2 white edge rushers this year. Oh, let's see what this is about. Pardon my racism on Valentine's Day, but I was like, oh, well, do both these guys play like J.J. Watt? Do both these guys play like him? Just pardon me. That's just what I thought, you know. And I'm watching George Karlaftis, right? I'm watching this son of a bitch, George Karlaftis. And he's just smoking the shit out of everybody. Nah, this is CRKT. CRKT. I'm just up here just watching this Karlaftis character, bro. When I ask the people, I'm just I want y'all to see my eyes. When I ask the people, I say, man, I want to like Jermaine Johnson the way that y'all do. I say Twitter say, huh? I said, I want to like Jermaine Johnson. Okay, let me not look up there. Let me look back at my microphone. I said, I want to like Jermaine Johnson the way that y'all do. So I reached out to Twitter. And I said, Twitter said, I say, Twitter, what are Jermaine Johnson's best games that make y'all feel this way about him? Because I want to like him the way that. Hold on, let me get us some sound effects. Let me get us some sound effects, bro. Because we need sound effects for this, bro. Let me get sound effects for this, man. Sound like you want to trade back. That motherfucker might make it to Dallas. I don't know, because people stupid. Let me see. Do I have a perfect? Okay, cool. So I was like, Twitter. They say, huh? I say, what's Jermaine's best games? Because I want to like Jermaine as much as you do. That's a bit loud. You do. And they was like, well, Voch, Jermaine Johnson's best game. You know, you can go watch the Miami game. Go watch that, you know. I think they said like Notre Dame or something, you know. So y'all can go and over on the Patreon over there, right? Because we watch all the film. I got obsessed when I watched 8 Jermaine Johnson games. And they said the best games was Miami and Notre Dame. And we got there and they weren't very impressive. See, I just, you know what I mean? I just kept watching the film. I just watched it on loops and my chat box got bored. You know what I mean? My chat box was bored, and I was too. But I was like, man, where is this? Y'all said this is best film. Y'all said this is best film. You said I could stay here. You got me new clothes and a video game. I thought we was a family. I ain't got no family. And I watched Jermaine Johnson like, man, I thought this was one of them, you know. I thought this was one of them that was really going, you know what I'm saying, get me going. But it didn't. When I ask for somebody best game, I want to see what, you know, what the business is. I ain't even got to ask nobody what George Karlaftis' best game is. Go look up George Karlaftis versus Notre Dame. If you can't find it, it's on my Patreon. If you can't find it there, I don't know. Just hit me up and we'll talk about it. But that motherfucker killed everybody. Ramon's making a fantastic point. He said that, you know, he was talking about Jermaine Johnson's best game. They was talking about Miami. You know, he'll beat the shit out the right tackle from Miami, in which he's bad, but, you know, he'll go on the left side and get smoked. Patricia, happy Valentine's Day. Who else is who else up here? Myra, happy Valentine's Day. Tamara, happy Valentine's Day. Tyler the Scout, happy Valentine's Day. So I mean, I'm just up here, right? I'm just looking. So I say, well, what's Kayvon Thibidoux's best game? Come on, run it. What's Kayvon Thibidoux's? And everybody was kind of all over the place with Kayvon Thibidoux's, but it don't matter because no matter what game you watch on Kayvon Thibidoux's, it was all kind of boring. You know, I just felt I fell asleep on all of it, bro. But when you watch George Karlaftis versus Notre Dame, pick a game. Pick a George Karlaftis game. Pick one. There's no way you watch George Karlaftis, then watch Kayvon Thibidoux, then watch David Ajabo, then watch Jermaine Johnson and think anything but George Karlaftis is better than all them children. There's no way that you think something opposite of that. Chandra, happy Valentine's Day. Man, George Karlaftis rolled up, started using his hands, and he was technical. I said, this the kind of cat that we dealing with today. Then he shows evidence that he rushes with pass rush plans, and I said, this what we dealing with today. He showed a little bit of power to run down the middle of people, and his bull rush was fantastic. I said, my voice got highlighted. I said, this what we dealing with today. Then I saw he lined up on the sides, on the edge, and he was a little bendy. And I said, that's what we dealing with today. And then they dropped him back in coverage, and I hated it or whatever. You know, I just couldn't stand that, you know, of course. And, you know, he's not the athlete that, you know, Thibidoux might be a little better of an athlete than him or something like that. But then you looked at his pass rush moves and how he chained them together, and I was like, this sumbitch got some juice. Oh, George Karlaftis got some juice, ladies and gentlemen. So this is why this is relevant. Let me explain. The one thing that George Karlaftis does not have is hype.
Perfect.
I didn't play the wrong button. I wasn't supposed to play the. Nah, that's something different. I played
Perfect
because I don't want George Karlaftis to have hype. Teams in the draft are terrible, and sometimes they go based on hype. Sometimes they'll hear one thing from a fan base, and they'll go, oh, this is what we need to do. Let's do that. And before you know it, daggum George Karlaftis ends up being the fifth guy off the board. And he may be the fifth guy off the board, but he may be the best defensive end in that draft. That's how I feel about him. That's how I feel about George Karlaftis. And I'm just looking at him, you know, I'm a Cowboy fan, so I'm always looking, you know, in reference of can I get him to my team? If Jermaine Johnson continues to get pre-draft hype and he just climbs up his little board, Andrew Candela just subbed to the channel. Welcome to the family, son. So if this is a situation, and I'm just speaking from Cowboy land because I'm Voch. If it's a situation where somebody overdrafts Jermaine Johnson because he has like draft hype or whatever, and they draft Kayvon Thibidoux, who's my defensive end number 4 at this point, currently today, number 4 at this point because he has draft hype, and the white dude pass rusher that's kind of under-assuming that plays at the little school, not little school, but relatively small. We talking about Purdue versus, you know, XYZ. If that dude kind of, and he's not going to test amazing at the combine or whatever, but just let that dude's good tape just fall down. God damn it, we going to Sizzler. Straight up and down, just like that. Now, I can't promise that's going to happen. But you want to talk about pet cat level shit? Oh my goodness, George Karlaftis deserves a parental advisory sticker. I know there's a lot of people in my chat that, or in the comment section that's going to be watching this back or whatever. You may not be Cowboy fans. You may be a fan at the top of the list or whatever, right? So, like, for example, like Tyler the Scout is a Lions fan. So him and Everything King, these different Lions people that may come to me or whatever, and they be like, what you think? What you think? It would be of bad taste, horrible taste, if I look at a Lions fan and I go, yeah, man, y'all could draft Thibidoux. Yeah, that sounds good. Yeah, that sounds good. It'll be a bad taste if I did it. Would it work out for me? Sure, it'll bump another guy that I like down the board. But boy, if you don't end up with let me pull up Tankathon. Let me pull up Tankathon because it's set now, but I just be wanting to see. You know what I'm saying? Shouts out to Manscaped. Tankathon. Y'all can call in, by the way, the number right there. Y'all call this number right here if y'all want to. If you the Lions and you at the number 2 overall pick, let's just say Hutchinson went first. I ain't telling you to take Karlaftis second overall, but I'm telling you that Thibidoux ain't that dude. He's not that guy. There's no way you can watch film and be like, oh yeah, that's that dude. That's that dude. A-Rod said, y'all crazy if Thibidoux not your number 1 pass rusher. Call the show, please. Like, yo, look, that's what this, that's what this show is about. Hold on. That's what this show is about. Oh, Tyler on the phone. Give me a second. Who is this? A-Rod 323? What's 323? That ain't Detroit. I don't know. Hey, look, please call in so I can hear from you. I would love for you to tell me how crazy I am for not thinking that Kayvon Thibidoux is clear, concise, number 1 edge. Because we're going to have a long-ass talk if that's the case. I just want to know your thought process. Matter of fact, let me go ahead and do this. There y'all go. The number right there if you want to call. Let me hear from Tyler, man, because, bro, like, he's a Lions fan. So I need to hear from – I need to hear it. Ty, what up, man?
Mr. Lombardi, it has been a long time since I've been on one of these long live streams. I think this is actually the first one of the draft season, so I'm excited to get underway with it. I was watching your boy Karlaftis. I lobbed you a tweet last night saying, "Hey, man, I'm watching these dudes, and there's this kid out of Purdue, wears number 5, that just has hands, like just the hand technique of how he can just defeat offensive tackles' wrists and elbows." And I just see a huge, diverse move set that I don't see. Like, and I'm not gonna. Karlaftis is not better than Hutchinson to me, but like, let's just say, but the move set and like, so this kid 5, Karlaftis, Lightspeed as I called him. I
like it.
I just think I to see a guy do that in college and already have a foundation of moves and a variety, the swim, the club rip, the push and pull, the bull rush to the whatever you want to call it, the spear. Sure. Like, I'm seeing a lot of these things, and you watch Thibidoux and you watch Jermaine Johnson, it's like, all right, guy, if he doesn't win with raw speed around the edge, nothing's there. So, I mean, hey, I'm a Lions fan, you know that, but I have no problem taking Karlaftis at 2. I don't know if the fan base would. But but it's always fun. It's always fun talking with you. And I'll now, one question for you, for your Cowboys. You're sitting at what, 24?
Yes, sir.
Correct?
Yes, sir.
At that point, is it just BPA to you? I know you're not a big mock drafty guy.
Sure.
But at this level at 24, is it just BPA to you?
Always. But I think that, you can add words to it. Like, it can be BPA unless some very egregious nonsense is on the board. You know what I mean? Because it could be like, all right, right, one of those situations. Like, that's some egregious nonsense. Like, we didn't need wide receiver. You know what I mean? Like, if it was CeeDee Lamb versus, I don't know, say like Trey Diggs was on the board or something like that, and like, we need corner or something, right? Then you got to go CeeDee Lamb because he's the clear, egregious best player on the board. It just works out if you can get Diggs in the second round. Shouts out to Dallas. You know what I mean? So, yeah, I mean, I would like to go offensive line, but if Nakobe Dean is there, I love Nakobe Dean better than, Linderbaum or like Kayvon Green, somebody that'll be there at 24, you see. So at that point, I would go for the egregious best dude, but if everybody in the pot is relatively the same, then I would rather go offensive line.
I wanted to pick your brain real quick on Cross, the kid out of Mississippi State.
Sure.
Where do you fall? Have you done much film on him? Because I watched 2 games of his.
Yeah.
I love him in pass pro,
Sure.
not shockingly coming out of that system. But
Right.
where do you have? Although I love Neal, to be honest. Like, I have Neal, my offensive tackle number 1.
Sure.
I love me some Neal from Alabama. But
Sure.
where do you have him in relations to Akeem, the kid from NC State?
I think it's going to be so weird with these top 3 guys because everybody got something that the other guys don't have. And I kind of use it as the Mario example, as, Cross is the technical dude, but he may not be as physically gifted. But Akeem got all the physical Super Saiyan gifts, but he knows nothing about how to play football. But Evan Neal is like that healthy medium. He's that healthy balance guy to where he has the coaching from Bama, but he's also big, not as movie explosive-y as Akeem is, you know what I mean? Maybe not as naturally powerful as Akeem is or whatnot, but he's like a healthy medium. So it really depends on if you're floor guy or ceiling guy. If you feel like, if you feel like you can do what you got to do to get Cross stronger, then do what you got to do and, improve him, then you take him. Or if you feel like, hey, I could just teach Akeem technique and I can have the best offensive lineman that ever existed, then just go there. Or if you don't want to do very much teaching, just go with the solid dude and Evan Neal, in which I'm seeing a lot of people do that.
Is it a fair comparison? Coming out of college, Mekhi Becton out of Louisville,
Yep.
enormous monster, completely raw,
Yep.
he's a Play-Doh. And Akeem, is it pretty similar? Although Akeem has this real nasty streak to him that I don't think Mekhi had coming out of Louisville.
Mekhi was definitely a terrorist, but Akeem has a little more to him, which is crazy. He has he just a little more of that terrorizing thing about him. He has a little more than Mekhi, but that's a very good example. I just think that Akeem knows less football than Becton did, which is terrifying. But if you can teach him, if you could just teach him a little bit, like it's not like he's soft or he can't move people or can't play or anything like that. He just doesn't know the nuances or whatnot. So if you could teach him, yeah, he'll be one of the best guys in the league, like immediately, in my opinion.
Do you count Ajibo, the other guy from Michigan? He's a 3-4 outside linebacker, and you're correct?
Yes.
That's what I see. He's a stand-up. He's a stand-up guy. He's not a 4-3 hand in the dirt guy.
Yes.
But I kind of wish Hutchinson had Ojabo's effort, because I see some plays where Ojabo is like sprinting from like sideline to the other side hash to make a play.
Yep.
And I just kind of wish Hutchinson had a little bit more of that in him. But okay, I just wanted to get because I think Ajabo's fantastic. I think he'll be a first rounder as well. But just wanted to see if you were on the same boat.
Yeah, love it.
When are you doing receivers?
Man, we're gonna run through
trenches
some
first.
We're gonna run through some edges tomorrow, and I want to get to receivers around Wednesday and Thursday because I know people gonna start asking me about them. So probably Wednesday and Thursday.
Awesome. You are an excellent follow on the Patreon, folks. If you want to watch film and don't want to be kind of not influenced by any kind of talking through, I would highly recommend subscribe to Voch's Patreon and just put them on mute and just watch the film so you can make your own decisions. That's what I do, and it's a really, really good way to not let Voch, anyone in the media, kind of influence what you think of a player, and you come up with your own decisions. Thank you, buddy.
Love it, love it, love it. But then you're going to see me rewind a play by 10 to 12 times. You're going to go, oh, yeah, Voch like this dude.
That's fine with me. That's fine with me.
So, all right. Appreciate it, Ty.
Have a good one.
Yo, Tyler the Scout hit us with a lot of takes right there. Just hang tight. We're gonna get with you in 2 seconds. I like what he was saying though, in terms of the offensive lineman that he was talking about. He liked Evan Neal, but I think that comes down to, are you floor guy or are you ceiling guy? If you like high floor dudes, then go with Evan Neal. He may be the best offensive lineman for you. I like what he was saying about David Ojabo and his effort. If you was tuned into the Patreon when we were watching David Ojabo, I was blown away blown away. There was this one play where like the quarterback like ran and he way on the other side of the field and cut up, and David Ojabo just sprinted him, ran him down, got him up out of here. Love that. And I love what he was saying about Karlaftis. Of course, I love what he was saying about Karlaftis, man. If y'all haven't seen his film, man, if y'all just need one game to watch, go watch his Notre Dame film, man. You know, if you need to see more, just watch more. Just watch some more. But I liked everything that he was saying. Listen, A-Rod 323. No offense. Like literally no offense. And I don't know how like new you are here. Like welcome if you're new here. But if I ask you, like if you say Kayvon Thibidoux is the next Von Miller, and I say why do you think so highly of him? You can't just hop in my chat and be like, oh, well, everybody say he was going to be the best since his freshman year. Like, that's not a good response here. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's a response. My phone ringing. Like, that's a response, but that response isn't going to get you very far up in here. Saying, that, oh, well, they say he was going to be the best since his freshman year. That's not enough, player. You're going to have to tell me something that you watched. You're going to have to hit me with a game and a timestamp. Y'all believe Kayvon number one. Y'all believe Kayvon not number one no more because of the media. That's how I know you new here. Hey, look, everybody just put arms around A-Rod 323 and just console him, man. Console him. But we don't listen to media here. We listen to we listen to ourselves. You know what I'm saying? We believe in our eyes. You know what I'm saying? And Thibidoux got upside, you know what I mean? Thibidoux clearly, has a high ceiling if he could figure it out, but oh, buddy. They've been saying he going to be number one. Ain't enough. We need some more. We need some more. Let's get Justice on the phone, see what he's talking about. What up, Justice?
What up, Voch? How you doing tonight, bro?
Coolin' player. What you got for the show?
Like you always kind of starting stuff, bro. This Kayvon Thibidoux stuff coming out early, my dog.
I don't know what you want me to say, sir. I don't know what else you want me to say, sir. I mean, but just tell me how you feel, and then we'll just go from there. Go ahead.
You're not wrong. I think that we live in a world where people are just giving shit. People are just giving things, and like Thibidoux was given the number one edge, but then we found out Aiden Hutchinson exists.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And to A-Rod's credit, I'll say this: Thibidoux has when you watch all the edges, they're not all complete players. Like they usually have something that they don't do well. Ojabo, I don't think really has the power to be an elite power rusher in the league. Like Aiden probably should be playing stand up linebacker. He's probably best as a 4th down, 4-3 edge or end, whatever you want to call it. Karlaftis is not the most bendy cat, but Thibidoux has a good blend of basically everything. And he has the power, the strength. He shows a little bit of hand movement, but it's all just so raw.
This is my only pushback on that, right? He shows those things sometimes. He shows power sometimes. He shows bend sometimes, hands sometimes. Karlaftis is consistently hand guy. Hutchinson is consistently explode people, technique, power rush. He's consistently that guy. Ojabo is consistently bendy, speed rush, successfully. Those three dudes are successfully, consistently those guys. Kayvon ain't consistently anything. He has flashes of all those things. He could be all those things. His ceiling could take him to be all those places. But that ain't where he at right now. And I think everybody got to ask yourself, are you floor guy or ceiling guy? You want you want the bird in the hand or you want the two in the bush? As draft evaluator guy, I just happen to lean towards bird in the hand dude. I want to know what I'm getting. I don't know. I don't want to know what you can be, because it's already a gamble with what anybody can be, even the high floor people. I don't want to guess that you're going to work hard. I don't want to guess that you're going to figure this out, because you might not figure it out, because there's a high rate of defensive linemen in the league that don't figure it out. That's my whole thing about Kayvon Thibidoux. It ain't gonna get no easier for you. So if you ain't absolutely consistently smoking the Utah kids, good luck when fucking Tristan Wirfs grab a hold of you. You know what I mean? That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, bro. That big 6'8" like tackle that Utah got was smoking on that whole game, bro. That was not. And like apparently that dude's an undrafted free agent. Like for everything that they were talking about Thibidoux early in the year, like I thought he was going to be the next Myles Garrett. But to watch that film, I was just disappointed.
Sure, 100%. And like it's not even always disappointing because you do have to adjust your grade to go, okay, well he doesn't know everything that he can know right now. You see what I'm saying? He can learn some things and be cool. But when I watch Karlaftis right now, that dude's better than Thibidoux. And I project him to be better until Thibidoux figures it out. When I watch David Ojabo, that dude's better right this second. And I don't mean to slap my hands like I'm slapping them at you, but it's just for like dramatic effect. You know what I mean? That dude smokes people, man. Aiden Hutchinson touches people and they explode. I watch a lot of Kayvon Thibidoux highlight tapes. He running free, and he gets credit for that. You know what I mean? So, this ain't me, hating on Thibidoux or nothing like that. It's just I'm just picking three guys I like more.
Yeah, it is what it is at this point. I'm interested, like, cause I know you're not gonna get into corners late. Like, I'm interested to see what you think about Stingley, because I don't know how closely you follow college football, but like you would like if you watch that LSU run that they had early, like 2 years ago now. You would know that Stingley was probably like considered the best corner to come out of LSU since like Pat Pete.
But this the problem with Stingley though. Stingley ain't been that dude since freshman year. I think he's still a good player. But there's the injuries and people asking if he like football, and y'all know how I get with dudes that might not like football. But he hadn't really been that dude since freshman campaign. So I think you have to make the adjustments. And if you say that you like Sauce a little better, I can't hate you.
I can't, but that's stick. Like I remember that. Like I'm gonna have to go back and watch that freshman Stingley, but I remember that freshman Stingley being like like some Jalen Ramsey type shit, bro.
Sure, yeah, I don't disagree with you, but it just we'll see. And people may look at that and be like, oh well, Voch, we saw what he was able to do freshman year. Shouldn't we go off of that? Well, what if I was to say, well, if he was good freshman year, why isn't he that good now? Does he not work hard? Does he get discouraged easily? If he gets drafted top 4 and he ends up, let me go to Tankathon, and he so if he goes to the Jets at 4 and the motherfuckers lose 14 games, is he gonna quit? I think all these are real questions. You know what I mean? Sauce, while Cincinnati was getting their ass smoked by Alabama, looked around, saw Majai Sanders getting smoked. The other side of the ball couldn't move. Sauce Gardner played hard that whole game and covered up them Alabama dudes, man. So, that may say something for you.
Certainly is. One more question before I go, bro. Because a couple of years ago, I know it's early in the process for you, but is it fair to compare this tackle class to the ones with like someone with like back then Andrew Thomas, Willis, and then the other cat?
Thomas. I think that's fair. I think that's fun. You got guys that are kind of different from each other. If you want to add Trevor Penning in that conversation, I guess you can, but I see him more as a guard, really. But sure, it's just I think it's gonna be whoever you think is number one. The next man may not think that they're gonna be number one, not because that somebody sucks, somebody don't, but it's just that some people value different things. So there may be a clear. There's not going to be a clear consensus on what guy's better because everybody's going to be looking for different things. And scheme-wise, right? Scheme-wise, like if you look at like just kind of like what Tyler was saying, Charles Cross played for Mike Leach. Mike Leach gonna throw the ball 50 times. So if you're a team like the Giants and you trying to get Saquon going and you may want somebody that you trust more in the run game, then the Giants may not draft a guy like Charles Cross. You know what I'm saying? So we'll see what happens there.
Definitely. All right, bro. Thanks for having me on, dog.
Appreciate you, my guy. Good call. That's justice, ladies and gentlemen. All good questions there. Let's go to Shaq, the Vikings fan. See what he talking about. What up, brother Shaq?
What's going on, Coach Voch?
Cooling, my guy, man. Trying to make it all make sense. What you got for the show, man?
So I was watching recently your little radio interview that you was doing, and you made some good points about how teams look at the two Super Bowl teams, and now they're going to try to copy.
Sure.
And I'm trying to figure out where the Vikings could go if they should follow the Rams route of just trading the first-round pick, because the draft can be a crapshoot, because at the end of the day, we can project which players might be Hall of Famers or Pro Bowlers, but at the end of the day, we can't predict injuries, or we can't predict who's actually going to be that guy we want them to be.
I think the Vikings. I think when the Vikings were at their best, they was just hitting on draft picks. You know, like y'all was just hitting on them day 2, day 3 guys. Like that's when y'all was at, at your best or whatnot. So I don't think anybody should go the Rams route, just going all in, giving away all your picks, because, man, look, you can give away that first round pick for whoever the hell you give it up for, but man, that first round pick could be Micah Parsons, man, and that, you know what I mean? So I just think, but then and look, this is my other thing too. I was thinking about this. Maybe the Rams aren't giving themselves enough credit, because the best players or at least the players that played the best Sunday was dudes that the Rams drafted. Jalen Ramsey was getting his dumb ass smoked. But
Chase is a good player.
I guess, but Ramsey the best corner in football. Fuck, man. Drafting Aaron Donald at 16 means something. Drafting Cooper Kupp day 2, like, that means something. Like that's for your franchise, And if you just feel like, oh well, you just don't, we don't draft well anyway, so we just gonna spend our money on free agency. I mean, you need a new GM. Like, go get a new.
We got rid of our GM. That's why he got fired.
Well, y'all did, of course. But yeah, man, I'm not really. I think everybody should value draft. You know what I mean? Because that's where you find these guys. That's where you build this highlight tape of a team, right? Because I'll tell you this though. Watch this. Voch says this. You can go and do the Rams thing, and look, that don't even mean the Rams was the best team in football. They just happened to make it to the playoffs. And they just happened to get through it and win the Super Bowl. But how long is this Rams team gonna be together? I think that's something that you got to think about. To where if you look at the Bengals, Joe Mixon, T. Higgins, Jay Martin, them dudes gonna be together and cheap for 4 more years, man. So all they got to do is draft offensive line, keep the defense going. They gonna be good to go. The Rams got to figure out what the fuck they gonna do, man. I think that, the Bengals were probably a better offensive line away from winning the damn thing. You know what I mean? I was looking at the Rams and like how they responded to Odell getting hurt. I was like, man, if y'all had some depth, this will be a little better for you. You know what I mean? Van Jefferson ain't Odell Beckham. He cool. He ain't Odell Beckham. And then what's after that? You know what I mean? Matt Stafford ain't play great. Defense came through for him, you know what I'm saying? But, I don't know, man. Maybe I'm just talking directly to Cowboy fans that's going, Voch, should we trade all our picks to go make a run at this thing one time? And I just think that's kind of weird, and that's a little too much. But
you also got to look at the window of opportunity, because not all teams have that window to win the Super Bowl.
Sure.
I feel like our window damn near passed. Once we signed Kirk Cousins, I feel like our window was over.
But
that's
look,
when the Vikings became a second afterthought.
But whose fault is that though? Anybody tell y'all to get Kirk Cousins $84 guaranteed $1 million? That's y'all mistake. That's y'all mistake, man. Look, man. If anything, take some picks and trade up and go get Mac Jones or Justin Fields or something. I ain't tell y'all to go get that man. That's y'all business.
So with that being said, I mean I like the Bengals route, but that's just too hard because you got to suck for 2 years. If the Bengals didn't suck, they wasn't getting Joe Burrow, they wasn't getting Jamar Chase.
We can say Bengals route, but the Chiefs, the Bills, they may be teams that spent big money on a player or two, but those teams are built around dudes that they drafted. You know what I'm saying? So, I just think that the Rams are a very extreme version of what they do. I'm not saying not to spend money on free agents. I would love for the Cowboys to spend money on a left guard so we ain't just tied into left guard when, draft world gets here or when, the draft gets here or whatever. I wouldn't mind spending money somewhere if you can find it. But that far example, I'm seeing podcasts. Name they podcast. Should the Cowboys spend all they got to make one run at the Super Bowl? And I think that's kind of weird. I would rather my team be good years, you know what I'm saying, than just 1 year,
That's respectable. I feel that because, what's better than one Super Bowl? Multiple Super Bowls in a row.
For sure.
Not many teams can actually do that.
For sure. So, we'll see what the Rams do. And they was talking about paying Matt Stafford. You can, but somebody.
Where they getting the cat from?
Huh?
That's what I want to know. Where the Rams get this money from?
I would imagine that it came from. I don't know. Maybe they put some money under the table to get them draft picks away. I don't know, but I'd imagine some of it is paying older guys less money. But I don't know. Who knows, man? Who knows? But what else you got, brother Shaq? Before I go rambling.
That's all I really got. I'm a little disappointed in Kayvon Thibidoux from watching the film session.
Yeah.
But if he falls, I would not mind him at 12. I cannot lie about that.
Well, if you get him later in the draft, cool. I'm not saying he sucks. I'm not saying and that's where a lot of this shit get lost. People think I think Jermaine Johnson's a bad football player or Kayvon Thibideau's a bad. I don't think they're bad football players. I just think that if I got Aiden Hutchinson in a bag, Kayvon Thibideaux in a bag, and Karlaftis is in a bag, and David Ojabo's in a bag, I'm not pulling out Thibideaux first. Or second or third. Might be fourth.
Respectable. Well, that's all I really got for the show.
Appreciate you, brother Shaq. Tune in again. I'm liking what the comments are saying. I saw this before. What's the name on this? Stern, right? They say Kayvon equals Deion Jordan. Now I'm not willing to say that because Kayvon is a high ceiling guy. He has a very low floor, but I think he's a high ceiling guy. So he could be Deion Jordan. But like Daniel W says, he could also be Frank. I don't think like Frank Clark plays different than him, but he could be a player of that caliber. I understand what you mean. He could be anything. He could be anywhere from Deion Jordan to Leonard Floyd to a top tier pass rusher or whatever. You know what I mean? It just depends. Depends. What my time looking like? All right, cool. We good. 470. What up? Who this?
It's Ed from Atlanta, dog. New phone. Old phone's still good, but another phone.
All right, my God. What's good with you? What you got for the show, man?
Yeah, man. I guess to speak real quick on your point that you just made, it's hard to even say that he would be Leonard Floyd because at least Leonard Floyd had an inside counter coming out of college that he would abuse people with.
That's fair.
With Thibideaux, I don't really see him use anything consistently that he beats people with. Like, for example, with these athletic rushers, you typically would go outside, and that's when Leonard Floyd hits you with inside counter.
Sure.
Not him nor Johnson have that.
Right.
Which is why I would like to pick your brain about my boy Ebikite from Penn State. I would have him over Jermaine Johnson 100%.
Who?
Ebikite. I don't know how to pronounce his name. The Penn State end.
Ibidiki.
Or more like 3-4 outside line. Yeah, some shit like that.
Yeah. He cool. He had a better Senior Bowl than Tate. You know what I mean? I think he's more of a project player. He's probably gonna be like a day 3 guy or something like that. And no disrespect to him, that's just kind of where like project dudes go. I think Kayvon definitely is getting drafted over him, but hey man,
No, not Kayvon.
Oh, who?
Jermaine Johnson.
Who? Oh, Jermaine. Oh, wait, no telling where the hell Jermaine go. You know what I'm saying? I at least know somebody's going to like Kayvon enough to take him relatively top 10 somewhere. I don't know what's going to happen with Jermaine. Jermaine can go anywhere between 15 and 60, bro. I don't even know. But, hey, somebody going to like him enough to take him. You know what I mean? I just hope that, my team do the right thing and take somebody better than him at 24. But in the 60s, we can discuss it maybe, possibly. I don't know. We'll see.
where would you see him at? Because if I were to compare him to past edge rushers, I wouldn't take him as high as I would take Brian Burns, because at least Brian Burns had elite bend.
For sure.
Brian Burns was 15, 16, so I late 20s is kind of where I would like to get him.
Well, I mean, think about just, you know, these classes, right? Think about the edge classes, right? Like you know, I see him as a guy. Like, think about last year, where, you know, guys like, you know, Roche went. You know what I mean? Like guys like that, or guys like you know, the Duke kids. Like think about where you would put them in reference to those dudes. Like if Jermaine Johnson came out last year, he does a lot of blending in with the late day 2 dudes, you know, opposed to the early day 1 guys. So he's
I would say that, but he's a much better athlete than all those guys. That's why they have him first roundish.
I guess. Is he a better athlete because is that what we saw at Florida State, or because we saw him beat up on some dudes at the Senior Bowl?
Because that's what we saw at Florida State. There's some plays in Florida State where he chases down running backs that already passed him. Like he's clearly an athlete.
I feel you. I'm not saying he ain't, but you know, I'm just saying, like, is that going to be enough to push him over the edge to make you, you know, take him, you know, where he probably shouldn't be? You know, I just see him as a guy
higher than a guy like Roche. Roche wasn't an athlete at all, and he barely had any. Like Roche, that's a little disrespectful. He's a much better athlete than he is.
Well, I mean, but you don't only draft players based on athleticism. You know, you draft them, you know, based on the total package.
But he gives you everything Roche gave you, except he's an athlete. That's what I'm trying to say.
If you say so. I just see Jermaine not as a project player, because I just see him making plays, but we can't pretend like it'll be 30 plays between him making plays. Like, he disappears a lot. And I think that's because he doesn't diagnose runs very well unless it's clear to him. I don't see him being super effort guy to the run if it's going away from him. I don't see him rushing with a pass rush plan. I think when you see him in the Senior Bowl, he can get away with running down the middle of people. I don't think he's going to be able to run down the middle of people on the next level. Because when I watch film like North Carolina, when I watch him go against Miami's left tackle, when I saw him against Ikem Ekwonu, pick a film session. He tries to run down the middle of some of them dudes, and it doesn't really work. It works against some guys, but not against most of them. So I just think that, you know, he's a project type player. Now, I think in this class where, you know, he may be better than some edge guys, he may go a little higher, but, you know, on my board in particular, I got him as like a late 3rd round dude.
Yeah, for somebody that just picked Micah Parsons and whose athleticism just stood out like that, that's a little rough.
Well, I didn't draft Micah Parsons. I wanted Rashawn Slater, but
I know that.
but I look. And you know, to be
I'm
fair,
just saying, young legs translate to the league well. And going back to a point that you said earlier, that's why Jalen Ramsey was getting his ass beat by young legs. It just happens in the NFL that, you know, people that come out of college are traditionally in the best shape of their life, and that's why you see these athletic corners fall off towards, you know, whenever they're 28, 29, 30. It just happens like that. And he's offensive tackles are the same way. They're not used to having that kind of combine speed come at them. So, you know, if you're playing a backup left tackle, you can get 3 or 4 sacks in a game.
I don't think he's the athlete Parsons is, but I guess your fresh leg.
He's definitely not. No, he's definitely not.
Okay,
I'm just saying he's a much better athlete than I think you're giving him credit for.
I mean, he's solid. Yeah, he's a solid athlete. You know, in terms of what a defensive end is, I think he's a pretty solid athlete. Sure. Yeah.
And I guess, what do you think the difference between? Because I like Ojabo better than I like Karlaftis. But then again, the Falcons are also in 3-4 versus 4-3.
Sure.
The only thing that I didn't really like from Karlaftis is I don't really like his ability to 2-gap, which would normally have to happen in a 4-3. I respect his pass rush, but his run defense was okay. But normally I like to see a lot more control and not a lot more hands inside out of two-gappers to me. Which is why I like Ojabo on the outside, because he's constant hands inside guy.
I just want you to go back and watch a little more Karlaftis. That's all, and we can you know, we can have this conversation next week if you want, or in 5 days if you want to. I just want you to go watch a little more.
I mean, my thing was Ohio State. He didn't do too well compared to what Ojabo did.
Okay. Well, just watch a little more Karlaftis, and we'll just we'll have this conversation again. Okay, watch this.
I mean, you could direct me to a game. I've seen everything on your Patreon, and whatever my $1 gets me from whatever the hell that caddy guy's name is or whatever.
You was at the
Patreon. Do you
Patreon.
think best illustrated?
So you was at the Patreon watch party, and you didn't think that he showed good hands, or that he was able to two-gap, or he would translate into a good two-gap player?
He did against lesser tackles, but against Ohio State, he kind of got showed up.
Hey man, the Notre Dame game was pretty fun.
Notre Dame's all right. I mean, it's not like they have world beaters. I mean, Notre Dame linemen have got their ass beat all season though.
Okay, well,
Not in the run game, but pass first, they've looked rough.
Oh, we was talking about the run game.
Which that's where Karlaftis makes his money.
Okay. Well, I mean, if you did the work, I'm not here to fight you on it or nothing like that. You know what I'm saying? Because you did. I respect everybody's opinion. I just feel like Karlaftis is a pretty good hands
dude.
dude.
What do you think the difference between him and Ojabo is? Why do you not like him better than Ojabo? And I know you like Ojabo a lot. I'm assuming he's 3 on your board.
I like Karlaftis a little more than Ojabo because I like the higher floor. But I think Ojabo's effort, like that dude gets after it. Ojabo's effort, I think he's probably the better athlete. If you talk about the top 6 or 7 defensive ends, I think Ojabo's probably the better athlete. I just like him as a pass rush. And then look, I think there's this thing that's going around about Ojabo that he's bad in the run game. I don't think Ojabo's bad in the run game. I just think there's some run looks that look a little weird to him, but that's because he's been playing football for like 2 months or whatever. But I think Ojabo, everything in the run game that how can I say this? Everything in the run game that Ojabo is, I think Karlaftis is a little better. But I like Ojabo as what he's going to be asked to do as a pass rusher. He's going to be a standing 3-4 pass rushy, go be bendy edge guy. And I think as that, Ojabo would be fantastic for it. I think Karlaftis as he may be a little more pinned down into what he is or whatever. You know what I mean? I think it's really close with them. I think Hutchinson's the clear number 1 guy. Then it's like Ojabo and Karlaftis, and that can be a preference thing. I prefer Karlaftis because he's more of a higher floor dude. I like floor guy. But if you're a ceiling guy, Ojabo has room to grow and probably be better than that. And then that's where we have Thibidoux, and then we'll have Johnson after that. I hope all my rambling makes sense.
So, it makes sense. I just want to know. I don't understand. What is your feeling about that Ohio State game for Karlaftis? Because the power that he had in all the other films, I really wanted to like him. I thought this guy was right up there with Hutchinson until I watched Ohio State. And then you see the power started to go away. His get-off wasn't as good when he faced the right tackle, which, in all fairness, that right tackle for Ohio State's a baller.
I'll say this.
He's going to be great.
I'll say this. The one thing I don't like about the Ohio State game in general is it's hard to get good graded reps off of Ohio State's offense. You know what I mean? To where, you know how you can watch some plays, but okay, that's a good play to evaluate. Ohio State do a bunch of little quick passes, getting rid of the football. They do a lot of, they do a lot of misdirection stuff, a lot of rollout stuff, and it just wasn't a whole bunch of reps that I just felt really good evaluating like that. You know what I mean? Minnesota gave us a lot of gradable reps. I just didn't like Ohio State and how they ran their offense, talking about, okay, we're going to grade a player with the offensive, reps from Ohio State or whatever. Plus, that game got out of hand real quick. Ohio State put points up on them dudes real quick. So, if you want to use that as a part of your argument, I don't hate it. But just me personally, I just didn't like the graded reps that Ohio State had. To where if you look at every other tape, pick a tape, every other tape with offensive linemen that you would think are good offensive linemen, when they gave you reps that you felt good about grading, I like how Karlaftis looked in those reps.
For Ohio State, I feel like there was enough reps pass rushing for him to make an impact. But I don't know if he gave up because the game was out of hand. I can't really gauge that. And I'm not a guy who would knock you for giving up when the game's that out of hand. But I mean, it's just I would have liked to see something versus Ohio State, because then you look what Ojabo did, and Ojabo's a little different to grade against that kind of offense, because that's the benefit of having somebody who's as good as an athlete as he is because he can chase down those screen plays from the edge with effort, like you see, because he's that type of athlete. But even in the pass rush situations, yeah, he got some of those plays were given to him because that quarterback doesn't understand how to step up in the pocket, and I'll give you that. But Ojabo still flashed on the edge, and he still beat that right tackle a few times. And he had a spin move in the run game. He had a couple counters that he pulled off. And, I mean, he definitely made impact.
Yep. I like him too. I like Ojabo almost as much as I like Karlaftis. I just like Karlaftis a little bit more because of his floor.
What about Oregon State? Did you watch that from him, Karlaftis?
I don't think so. No.
You should watch that one. It wasn't as good as I thought. I really wanted to like him a lot.
Okay.
And I do still like him. But I just like Falcons at 8. I wouldn't do it. I think prime spot for him would probably be Eagles mid-first.
Hey, that's the
you probably wouldn't like that.
Hey, that's the fantastic thing about what we do, man. We ain't got all like the same guys.
That's true. That Richie Grant thing, fuck Richie Grant.
Fuck Richie Grant. That's crazy.
Fuck Richie Grant.
I mean, did he smash somebody? God damn, that you got a crush on or something? Why I got to be fuck Richie Grant? Like why it can't be? Oh, I wish Richie Grant played better or something. Like why it got to be fuck Richie Grant? Like
that's what that means. What I gotta? I'm not at work right now. I don't gotta do all that shit.
Oh, Richie Grant smashed somebody you like? Oh, that's crazy.
Yeah, that was a point of contention for us. I told you he was an average safety.
I'd be mad as hell.
That's all he is, man.
I'd be mad as hell if one of these athletes smash somebody I like. So yeah, I feel you. Actually, I wouldn't even be mad if they smash somebody that I like because they athletes. I don't know. You mad at Richie Grant for smashing somebody you like? You say fuck Richie Grant, guy.
I'm mad at him for being trash.
I ain't never said fuck Taco Charter. God damn.
That's you.
I ain't never said fuck Taco Charter, man. I ain't never said fuck Xavier Suafilo. Damn, you know how far you got to go to say fuck somebody you don't know? God damn. I'm going to go ahead and get y'all the phone, man. I don't want to let this toxicity ruin my Valentine's Day. Shoot. Shoot.
That's tough.
That man say fuck Richie Grant. God damn, dog, man. Dude can't even be a rookie, dog. He just went straight to fuck Richie. He ain't say, man, I really wish Richie Grant played better. He ain't say that at all. Oh, shit. Shouts out to my guy, Twan. He dropped a dub. It says, Davis, GA guy, not a popular, Jordan Davis, the Georgia defensive tackle. Not a popular opinion, but if we see ourselves in play in the second round for a guard, I watch Tulsa guy, Smith, the left tackle. Okay, he's decent, but huge. Would that be a reach for Davis or risk not getting nose and feet? Okay, that's a weird thing about Jordan Davis too. We have no clue when he gonna go. You could think that Jordan Davis would be there at 60 something because he's a nose tackle. But I think if you want Jordan Davis, you're gonna have to take him at 24 if he's there. We have no clue how this shit's gonna go. I think if you want Jordan Davis, I think you're gonna have to take him at 24 because I think if you don't, he's gonna be gone in the 30s somewhere. That's just me assuming. So. But the thing about the Tulsa kid in the second round, that's going to be interesting too, because I think if there's any good tackles that's not elite that's worth a damn, I think they're going to go early second round also. I got to watch some more film on the Tulsa kid because it was 2 Tulsa kids at the Senior Bowl, I believe. So, we got to differentiate and really figure out what we talking about when we like breaking them down or whatever. But I think it's going to be some really good players there in the second round for everybody. So I think, a lot of these players that we go, oh, well, they're kind of good. They just need a little bit of work. I think a lot of them dudes are going to be available in the third round. So we'll just cross that road whenever we get there. That man said, fuck Richie Grant. Bro, how mad you got to be at somebody to go fuck Richie? Some man, you don't even know this man. You gotta understand me if I disagree. Oh, Brazilian skills, that was you? That was you? Listen, man, give these dudes 3 years just to figure life out, man. Why Richie Grant ain't gotta be the man day one, bro? Like, just relax. Relax. I think that's all we got for the day, man. That's an hour and 10. That's a good little show. I appreciate everybody for tuning in, man. Hey, look, don't leave just yet because I'm about to drop. Boom, 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 boom. I'm about to drop film on the Kobe Dean, which is public right now. Go check that mug out. The Kobe Dean All 22 film session is live right now. Check it out, check it out, check it out, check it out. And you know what? Let me just take this and come on in, come on. Hey, man, you screaming my goddamn motherfucker. Fuck the Kobe Dean. I'll just take this and drop it in the, here we go, in the chat box or whatever. So, hey, man, run on over there. Check out the film session, the Kobe Dean, and I'll see y'all over there, man. I love y'all, love y'all, love y'all. Appreciate it. Appreciate y'all for tuning in. Like I said, tomorrow we'll probably be on the Patreon watching. We'll be doing cleanup work on some D linemen. Then after that, we're going to get into some film sessions. All right, so y'all enjoy y'all day. Go watch this on Rewind. And hell, go watch